Alright, what's up, gamers? So I hope everyone today is having a day full of positivity, because I know I am, because we're going to be checking out this quality-ass content. So I was on my absolute favorite YouTuber, Griffin Gaming's stream, and we were watching this video, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a video out of this, because I just wanted to roast the fuck out of this retard. Alright, so today we're going to be checking out Women Deserve Better, and that shouldn't be controversial, the Grace Van Dien FaZe scandal. So let's hop straight into this quality-ass content, shall we?
We need to talk. I prefer to be optimistic, to believe that people, human beings, are generally mostly good. Now, I'm not hopelessly naive by any means. I'm well aware that the human race is deeply flawed. Human beings are capable of such atrocities that even wild animals would never consider enacting upon one another.
And already we're off to a great start. I mean, this dude says he isn't naive, but then he says these are acts animals wouldn't ever consider enacting upon each other. I mean, have you ever heard the term, stop acting like an animal? Well, there's a reason that exists. I'm just saying the wild is pretty fucking wild. At this point, now I think this dude is a vegan, because this is definitely a talking point a vegan would bring up.
But nonetheless, I prefer to have hope. I prefer to be optimistic, but that hope and that optimism is challenged on the daily. When I am presented with these stories, these events, these situations that are so clear-cut, so obvious, have definitive, easily distinguishable antagonists and victims.
Yeah, victims. I mean, the poor thing was called Mid. How will she ever recover?
One party clearly being in the wrong, and the other clearly being in the right. In this particular instance, what sparked the creation of this video, the Grace Van Dien FaZe scandal. For those of you out of the loop and or unaware of the situation, please go check out Philip DeFranco's video breaking down the whole debacle. I first learned of this mess from Phil's video myself. Now you see, silly me, I made the assumption that this was a clear, cut and dry case of who was the victim, who was the antagonist, who was in the right, who was in the wrong.
You know, man, sometimes it's not just black and white. All FaZe Rain did is call her Mid, and then she got all butthurt about it. She's a grown-ass woman. You don't have to treat her like a baby. And going a bit off topic, I do want to bring up some quality-ass shit-talking me and this dude had yesterday. So after viewing this video on Griffin's stream, I commented, "Your voice screams, I wear glasses. She's not gonna peg you, bro." So after commenting this, he decided to comment on my own video, "Your entire being screams, I'm a pathetic incel. FaZe Rain isn't going to suck you off, bro." And so I replied with the handy-dandy nerd emoji. What's funny is these people would call you an incel, but I bet they can't even tell you what it means. It's like you talk any shit about women, and then they suddenly go, beep boop, fucking incel. It's the classic NPC response.
I mean the immensity of the irrationality and mental gymnastics one would have to produce in order to come to the absolutely illogical conclusion that Grace was somehow in the wrong at all, was the villain in this situation in any way whatsoever.
Dude, people are just saying that she's being fucking whiny just because she got called Mid. I mean, when your response to getting called that is this.
I said that
Pulling the acting shit out.
How am I a terrible person for what?
Pulling the acting
How
shit
am I
out.
so
now.
absurd? Explain. This is absurd.
I don't owe you an explanation, actually.
And I owe you an explanation. Absurd. What the hell? Where did this come from?
Macho, tell Vera that I'm not doing this video, and if they release anything, then I'm leaving. Peace.
Well, it's been released.
Get fucking wrecked.
Then you're not built for the internet. You should just leave. It's like these actors don't even live in reality. They can't handle any kind of fucking criticism or shit talking that comes their way. I mean, I didn't even know she existed. I watched Stranger Things, and shit, I never even noticed her. I don't even think she was a major actor. She was like fucking D tier.
Like, it's truly impossible. No one could possibly.
Holy shit, dude, you don't have to breathe straight into my ear. You sound like one of those gay hotline operators who gets off to phone calls.
And people wonder why gamers are stereotyped as misogynistic incels.
Gamers are misogynistic incels. I mean, shit, this dude just can't stop pulling buzzwords out of his ass. Apparently, if you shit talk a woman, well, that just means you hate all women. You know, shit, before a good gaming session, I really like to just beat my wife.
Let's take gender out of the equation here, out of the conversation here for but a moment. Let's look at the facts. The esports organization FaZe Clan announced they had a new member joining. The individual FaZe Rain made a tweet leaking who the new member joining was, while also disrespecting this person, saying the only reason they were being hired was simply because they were on a TV show and nothing more.
Dude, how the fuck is that disrespectful? Because it's true, she was only hired because she was on a TV show. That's called fucking marketing. And what the hell does he mean by disrespect? How the fuck am I supposed to respect her? I mean, shit, the only people I respect are veterans and people like that. Why the fuck should I give respect to an actor?
The disrespected person in question, Grace, whom had never interacted with this other individual, Rain, beforehand, they have never met before, they don't know each other. Keep this in mind, FaZe Rain does not know her, has not met her, and is bizarrely, out of left field, disrespecting this person. So the person being disrespected retorts with,
I'm sorry, sir. Were you in the meeting with us? Were you there? No, I've never met you. So, get wrecked.
Oh my god, Queen, yes. You go, get fucking wrecked, chud.
Everyone's saying that.
a pretty light, unsensational retort. Nothing to really be offended over, nor a justifiable excuse to escalate the situation whatsoever.
So apparently she's allowed to clap back, but he's not. I mean, shit, like, I don't even think he got offended with his response, but she sure did, because she fucking freaked out over being called mid.
But alas, how does Mr. Rain respond to this? A fully grown adult, not a teenager, not a child, a fully grown adult.
And she's a grown-ass woman who freaked the fuck out over what I'd say is a very generic response. Now, if she clapped back with, just, a simple comment, like, it wouldn't even be a big deal, but she freaked the fuck out over what he said. That's the problem.
What is his reaction to someone saying, "get wrecked" to him in jest?
Not only have you not hit a trick shot, but you don't even know what the that is. When you were still playing with Barbies, I made my first million out of this industry. And on top of it, you're excruciatingly mid, who I would never let touch me on my drunkest night.
Oh my god, he called her mid. If you can't take a hit, don't talk shit. And she talked shit, and then she's surprised when she got hit. She doesn't get special privileges just because she has a vagina.
What the fuck? You fucking freak?
What the fuck, you fucking freak? Like, this dude is acting like FaZe Rain just said something that EDP would say. Like, no, he just called her mid.
This was originally a disagreement about the business practices of an esports organization, where the individual FaZe Rain disrespected a total stranger. The disrespected stranger fires back with, "You don't know what you're talking about, get wrecked," in jest, and Rain's rebuttal to that, again, to a complete stranger, these people, these two adults, do not know each other. But nonetheless, Rain thinks it's appropriate to respond with, "You're ugly, I wouldn't even have sex with you if I were drunk."
You gotta love how disingenuous this guy is. It's like he never called her ugly, he called her mid. That's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10, that's average. And he's allowed to have that opinion anyway. He doesn't have to call her beautiful or anything. I mean, I've been called ugly straight to my face, and did I ever freak out? No, because I'm not a massive pussy.
Earlier in the video, I said, let's remove gender from the equation in the conversation, because I wanted all of the individuals who would somehow be dismissive of this whole exchange to absorb the facts of how this back and forth transpired and come to the understanding that regardless of gender, there was a clear initiator, there was a clear aggressor, there is only one party that escalated the situation: FaZe Rain.
How did FaZe Rain escalate the situation? She's the one who decided to respond. And not only did she respond, but she's also the one who, again, freaked out over being called mid. I mean, this wouldn't even be a drama if she had some thick fucking skin.
The facts are the facts. But now, let's bring gender back into the equation, back into the conversation, and let's be truly honest with one another. Let's not bullshit, let's not beat around the bush. Rain never would have made that attack on Grace's looks, never would have sexualized or made that sexual comment if Grace wasn't a woman.
Well, no shit, because he's not fucking gay. I mean, this dude just keeps coming up with these bullshit arguments and straw mans. But again, it just comes across as super disingenuous.
I know it, and you know it.
No, I don't know it because you keep coming up with bullshit.
Grace is a victim and in the right. Rain is a douchebag and in the wrong.
A victim of what? All Rain did was call her mid. If she wasn't prepared for a clapback, she shouldn't have responded.
This shouldn't be controversial. This shouldn't be up for debate. This shouldn't even be political as some are trying to make it out to be.
You're right, it shouldn't be political, and no one ever made it out to be political. Not until you tried to say that FaZe Rain only said it because she's a woman.
There shouldn't have been numerous troglodytes and imbeciles stating that, oh, FaZe Clan was going woke, oh, social justice strikes again. Delusional. Utterly delusional.
If we're ignoring the fact that she was brought in because she's a woman, because she was, it's called a diversity hire, dude. Now, if we're ignoring that, though, all FaZe Rain said in the original tweet was that she was brought in because she's an actor. As my boy Crap Gamer stated,
keep that same energy.
It shouldn't be controversial to show common decency to your fellow human being.
holy shit, it's like this dude missed the past 20 years of the internet. It's not anyone's job, and it's not my job to be nice to anyone. FaZe Rain can say whatever the fuck he wants.
It shouldn't be controversial to show some basic decorum when engaging with other adults and strangers alike.
Anyone else notice that this dude just uses big words to make himself sound smart? It's like big words equals big brain. It's like this dude just sounds like he came straight from Reddit. Because the same speaking patterns, I've seen on that site.
Rain was needlessly hostile, beyond rude, and objectively sexist.
How was he sexist and hostile with his response? I just want to ask anyone, did you notice any hostility when we saw that clip where he was responding to Grace? And how was he sexist? I mean, he never even brought up the fact that she was a woman.
It's not up for debate. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, Rain was, and still is, morally in the wrong. Grace is the only victim in this situation.
Again, what's she a victim of? A victim of a dude's opinion? I didn't know those were illegal in 2023.
Not Rain. And anyone who believes otherwise is a fool.
Dude, no one said FaZe Rain is a victim. I don't even think there are any victims in this drama. I mean, it's a fucking drama and Grace is just being a bitch about it.
But I guess there are literally tens of thousands of fools who think Rain did nothing wrong.
Yeah, FaZe Rain didn't do anything wrong. And does anyone else notice that he says stuff like, thousands of people think? It's like, I know this dude probably has a speech impediment, but does anyone else notice that?
And that Grace is somehow the villain. Gentlemen, my guys, my boys, my dudes, come here.
No, stay away from me. You're probably fucking smelly.
We can no longer simply try to ignore the obvious sexism and misogyny in the gaming community. Yes, I know. Oh, but I'm not one of them. Stop generalizing, Ryan. Not all gamers are sexist and misogynist.
Well, they'd be right, because I've never really met anyone who's unironically misogynistic. I mean, this is probably one of those dudes who thinks a get in the kitchen joke is, means someone hates women. But no, most people just don't give a shit. I mean, do you actually think anyone takes this seriously?
Sure, of course. Not all. But look at these fucking numbers. Quite literally, tens of thousands. Tens of thousands who side with Rain, who was blatantly sexist to a woman simply for being a woman in the video games industry. This is a sizable amount of men, not a few losers in some dark corner of the internet. This is a sizable amount of men who are out in the open supporting a man who harassed another person for no good reason whatsoever.
So we're not going to bring up the fact that there can be female viewers as well, but no, all the people who viewed and liked the video are men.
My position shouldn't be a controversial one. I live by the credo of judging people by their content of character.
Oh my god, dude, now he's MLK. This dude's head really can't go further up his ass.
Is that not fair? Most of my best friends, who I love ever so dearly, whom I would give my life for, are women.
SIMP! SIMP!
SIMP! And I love them so, not because they are women, not because of the gender, not because of what's between their legs. I love them because they are good people.
I'm just saying, dude, and I'm not saying you are, but male feminists are typically the people who secretly sexualize women most.
I love them for whom they are as people. And as we can see, so the numbers show, there is a sizable amount of men in the gaming community who do not see women as people.
They don't view women as people. What do they view them as then? I mean, again, this is one of those dudes who probably takes get back in the kitchen jokes seriously.
When they see another man, they see another human being.
That's right, man. Men are the only people. Women are fucking cows who should just be milked. MGTOW all the way.
When they see a woman, they see either an enemy out to get them or as an object for them to project their sexual desires onto.
Yup, that's right, man. Women are the enemy. I mean, why does this dude seem to think that every man is fucking Nick Fuente?
Looking beyond just the Grace FaZe Rain situation, look at the rise of Andrew Tate.
Holy shit, where'd Andrew Tate come into this? But if we're being for real though, this dude is just mad jealous because he's a brokey.
The sexism is real. The misogyny is real. This isn't some propaganda by SJWs trying to take over and ruin your video games. Guys, just because you are not being a misogynistic piece of shit, and just because you personally haven't experienced the same sexism and blatantly sexist comments thrown at you for just being a woman, just because you haven't personally experienced that, just because you don't engage in that behavior, doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean it's not a problem.
Holy shit, dude, no one ever said sexism and misogyny don't exist. Of course they exist, and they always will. But, you know, in the 21st century, those cases are so few and far between that it's like it's not even a fucking problem.
Brothers, stand by your sisters.
No, fuck off, James Charles.
Support your fellow human beings. Do not give these bigots and these uncouth losers a foothold.
Yup, anyone who doesn't treat women like royalty is a fucking bigot.
Don't let their worthless buzzwords like simp or white knight deter you.
Dude, you are the literal fucking definition of a simp and a white knight. And you like to talk about people using buzzwords, but you call anyone who doesn't side with Grace in this situation a fucking incel.
They don't have logic or morals on their side, so they resort to dehumanizing, shaming, ad hominem remarks.
Dude, you literally do the same fucking shit when you call anyone who doesn't side with Grace an incel, a misogynist, and a sexist. It's like this dude doesn't even think about what he's about to say before he says it.
For the women in our lives that we care about, we have to do better, guys.
Dude, I don't give a shit about some random fucking woman on the internet. This is how you know this motherfucker is so fake. It's like, you know, personally, I don't give a shit about anyone except my family and people I know. Like, you know, fake motherfuckers will act like they care about people, but no, you don't give a shit. These are random people.
If we enable this behavior, if we don't push back against it, it will only get worse.
If we don't bring back bullying, if we keep enabling these nerds to speak their mind, it'll only get worse. I mean, shit, I miss when you guys were just social outcasts.
Do not allow the strawmans and the false equivalencies and the gish galloping dissuade you. There are genuine individuals out there, people, men, who see women as lesser to them. This isn't propaganda. This is fact. This is the truth.
I love how this dude accuses others of strawmanning, but, you know, he does the same exact thing. And I think, like, about 99.9% of people in America don't think women are inferior to them. I mean, if you want to find people that think that, you just gotta go to the Middle East.
The Grace FaZe Rain scandal puts that on full display. I love video games.
Oh my god, I heckin' love video games. Okay, bro, I really didn't ask.
And I want everyone to be able to experience video games.
Dude, women can buy a video game and play it. Like, this dude is acting like, you know, they're just restricted from playing video games. It's like, no, it's a product. You can just buy it.
And it breaks my heart that there are people out there, women out there, who are terrified to get into gaming, to make it a hobby, to make it a career. They are terrified to get involved with gaming because of all these freaks and losers that will go after them.
That's right, women are just absolutely terrified. Remember that woman who got virtually groped in a VR game? They just fear for their lives every day.
If they do. Those women deserve better. My friends who have to put up with this fucking garbage on the daily.
Yeah, women have to put up with that fucking garbage on the daily. It's terrible because they don't get special treatment.
Deserve better. Judge people by the content of their character.
Oh my god, this dude wants to be MLK so bad. I have a dream of a future where men and women can interact peacefully.
Introduce yourself with common decency and proper decorum, but if they go the low road, well, I think Asmongold said it best.
He shouldn't have said that and made it personal. I'll take the high road. I'll stay on the high road. It's no problem. But if you take the low road, I'll meet you there. That's what I think.
And like that, the video is over. Now what do I think about? Well, I think Alex Jones put it best.
But by the way, all that NPR voice, all that Nelly stuff is Delphi technique training. Those people really don't talk like that. You research these globalists, they like to beat women and rape people, and they go in and have sword fights with each other with their trainers, and they're just savage. I mean, behind the scenes, they're just like, rah! But they come out and go, hi, I'm liberal. I want to be your friend.